Today, I'm going to take a look at every LEGO Harry Potter set that came out on June 1st. I'll be building each set, testing the play features, and ranking them all at the end in order to find out which one is best. Kicking things off, I started bright and early at the LEGO store where I was able to find all 9 sets. LEGO just started a new line of products to collect based on the TikTok Booknook craze. The style fits in perfectly with the Harry Potter theme thanks to the franchise's roots, making it the perfect product for any fan. It doubles as a set of bookends, splitting the train's engine and carriage between your books, and can reconnect to make a typical Booknook, which replicates the halls of King's Cross. Included are Harry, Hedwig, Ron, Scabbers, and a bunch of sweets off the trolley. There's a handful of sticker details scattered throughout with 2 quote tiles placed right at the very top. It's such a fun concept, though I have to admit I do think it looks a little goofy in its Booknook form since the train gets split up and put side by side. And whilst I think it's at its best in bookend form, it fits really nicely on a bookshelf alongside the series. But before we travel to Hogwarts, much like every Harry Potter story, we have to start at home in Privet Drive. This Privet Drive set is the 3rd version that LEGO has made and is the first to be fully enclosed, making it look exactly like a middle-class suburban English home. You get Harry, Vernon, Petunia, and Dudley Dursley, and for the first time ever, Aunt Marge and Ripper the English Bulldog. The set comes along with Dudley's bedroom, Dudley's second bedroom, a toilet, and a dining table for all of your awkward family dinners. Though if you're tired of the arguing, you can always slip away and watch a dancing show on TV. At the back, there's a small build to represent the greenhouse, and you'll also be able to find a cupboard under the stairs, just in case you have a nephew that you don't like because he turned your sister into a carnival balloon. Which, speaking of, there's a conveniently placed clear piece on the side so that you can have the balloon version of Aunt Marge fly away. She is a 10 out of 10 addition and I absolutely love it, and by far is the highlight of the set. But despite all of those really neat details, the roof is a little bit bland, but there's enough going on in the set that I can look past it. Thankfully, if you run away from home after blowing up your muggle aunt, you can always hop on the night bus to quickly escape away from any stray black dogs lurking in the bushes on the side of the road. The night bus is a purple triple-decker bus that will be there to help any stranded witch or wizard. Usually, it's driven by Ernie Prang with his co-pilot, a shrunken head. However, he's unfortunately absent from this particular set. Stan Shumpike is still around to work his shift, however, and helps out the passengers on board. Inside the bus, witches and wizards can find a selection of beds to sleep on throughout their journey, but warning, they do slide around. Harry's broomstick didn't quite survive the journey, so it looks like it's time to do some shopping. And there is no better place than Diagon Alley. Quality Quidditch Supplies and Ice Cream Parlor are the latest additions in a series of place-set-sized Diagon Alley buildings. The other 2 in the series are made up of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, Owl Post, Ollivanders, and Madame Malkins, bringing the total cost of this street to $280 so far. The first building is Quality Quidditch Supplies, the one-stop shop for all things flying. You can pick up some fresh Quidditch robes, banners from your favorite teams, equipment, and most importantly, the Nimbus 2000. It's the fastest broom yet thanks to the use of this brand new bent bar piece and will be a perfect replacement for Harry. In this set, you'll find Ron Weasley, Cho Chang, Katie Bell, and Alicia Spinett, who are out picking up some new Quidditch gear for the upcoming tryouts at school. However, they won't get very far without a trusty shopkeeper to help them check out. Next door, you'll find Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor in case you needed a sweet treat after a long day of shopping. This store can open up to create a bigger space and features a variety of tables both inside and outside for customers to sit back and dig in. For those wizards on the go, however, there's a small little ice cream cart that offers both strawberry and chocolate soft serve. And with Harry's school supplies all in check, we better get ahead by doing some light reading. Unfortunately though, Hagrid has assigned the Monster Book of Monsters for his class. This book is incredibly difficult to tame once you set it free, and the last thing you're going to want is those teeth and eyes coming after you. Neville, our one minifigure in this set, knows from experience as he's ripped up his uniform more times than he can count. The book is decorated with a variety of horns and vines and looks really shaggy and rough. There's a few sticker tiles spelling out the book title on top, but when you turn it upside down, you'll find the real magic in this set. There's a gear located inside that is hooked up to some wheels, allowing you to pull the book back and send it chasing after people. If you can manage to catch it, make sure you stroke the spine and calm it down. Once calm, we can open up to our bookmark where you can find some insight into one of the hidden creatures that lurk on the Hogwarts grounds. Deep in the Forbidden Forest, you'll find the Thestrals, a skeletal, dragon, and horse-like creature with a white heart hidden inside. The mother has a lot of super skinny leg joints that connect using mech articulation pieces. You can fully pose the wings, head, tail, and legs, though it can be really hard to make the Thestral balance because of how top-heavy it is, so let this be a lesson to never skip leg day. In an ironic turn of events, the baby is a lot easier to get standing. Everything in this model is shrunken down and it uses a lot of the same parts. The wings, however, this time are solid plastic instead of the soft cloth. They come complete with a small side build of the Forbidden Forest that's designed to connect to the pieces from older sets. It's a little bit of an odd choice for a buildable character to me, though I think the execution looks great. Another creature living on the grounds is Fawkes, Dumbledore's pet phoenix. He's the smallest set on offer this time around and has some amazing bright colors and pieces. He sits perched in Dumbledore's office on this tiny little bird stand and every once in a while will combust into flames. But don't worry, phoenixes rise from the ashes and he is reborn as a little baby. Off to the side there's builds for the Sword of Gryffindor and the Sorting Hat so that Fawkes can save Harry from the basilisk when he needs help, but otherwise that's all for our lesson on magical creatures. So it's time to head down to the greenhouses for some herbology. The greenhouse is one of the latest additions to what is slowly becoming the largest official LEGO Hogwarts ever. However, the greenhouse doesn't necessarily attach to the system. It can open up and inside you'll find a variety of greenery growing up the walls, across the floor, and a selection of garden tools scattered around. On one half of the desks you'll find Neville's Mimbleless Mimbletonia, and on the other one you'll find the topic for today's lesson, as Professor Sprout is going to be teaching Hermione and Neville how to repot baby mandrakes. So I hope you've got your earmuffs nearby because otherwise you may end up fainting. The mandrakes have been remade with a custom piece and the perfect angry looking face print. You get 3 of them in this set and it is by far one of my favorite Harry Potter pieces they've made recently. The 2 desk sections can clip onto the walls and be tucked away so that the classroom can easily slot next to your Hogwarts castle. My favorite way is to stack it next to Hogwarts when it's open so you can… Hang on, what happened to Hogwarts? That's better. The main tower is the largest set of the wave and it is the most expensive individual Hogwarts castle piece yet. The tower measures over 67 centimeters or 26.5 inches tall and takes the idea of a minifigure scale Hogwarts castle to an entirely new level. Included are Harry, Ron, Hermione, Neville, Percy, Dean, Dumbledore, Professor Kettleburn, 3 extra students, and nearly headless Nick. The set focuses on the end of the Philosopher's Stone as the Golden Trio make their way to try and get past Fluffy. Only he is a little too big and intimidating this time around. But don't worry, if you play him some music on the harp, he will be sent straight to sleep. As our trio head down into the dungeons of Hogwarts, you'll find the Devil's Snare, a chamber of winged keys, and finally a giant wizard chessboard. There's just enough space for each of the minifigures, however if you take the knight up, you can actually stick Ron Weasley to the back so that he can be the hero this story needs. Once they've defeated Wizard Chest, Harry can head on up right to the very top of the tower where he'll find the Mirror of Erazed and a tiny little secret stashed right at the top. The mirror can spin around showing both his parents as well as the Philosopher's Stone, however there is no Quirrell in this set to actually have a final battle. Inside the remainder of the tower you'll find a couple of the grand staircases that can spin students around, and then leading up this Griffin staircase you will find Dumbledore's office kitted out with a bunch of little references to his knickknacks that we've seen throughout the movies. You can actually remove his desk in order to fit the minifigure right behind there, and then it slots back onto these 2 studs. There's a ton of hidden references and portraits scattered throughout this tower and it looks absolutely incredible both inside and out. The wave overall is really solid. There are definitely some that are significantly better than others, so it is time to rank them all. Starting off with the greenhouse, I feel like this set is overall really solid. The only main issue that there is a lack of minifigures for the price point that it is. It ultimately just boils down to cost. Next is the night bus. Now this one is not my favorite. I do think it is a really solid night bus. The design of it's really fun, but there are some really big things missing and ultimately I just don't really care for another night bus. Fawkes the Phoenix. I'm not massive on buildable creatures. I really like him overall. I think he's really cute. He's cheap, he's fun, but I also care more about the parts in him than the actual set itself. Same with the Monster Book of Monsters. I would rather the pieces in my collection than the set builds, but it's really fun. I love the chomping feature. I want the parts. The Book Nook. Now, I absolutely love this. I really hope that Harry Potter keeps going with these book nooks and book ends because I think this set's concept for Harry Potter is fantastic. Privet Drive. This set is fantastic. I love the completely unique and different take on it this time around. I love that it is fully enclosed. I also just love buildings. So this set's a big win. But even though I love buildings, I'm not massive on quality Quidditch supplies and ice cream parlor. I mean, it's fine. I enjoyed it. But like there are much better Diagon Alley buildings that I feel like I would have gotten excited over this one. The Grand Tower. This thing is absolutely fantastic. It is very expensive, I'm not gonna lie. But this thing is so gorgeous. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Thestrals. Overall, I'm just confused to why these creatures were made. The builds were really fun. They look really accurate, but I just don't care for the Thestrals, so I will be using them for pieces. Let me know which set out of this wave is your favorite, and if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel down below, and until next time, I'll see you later.